Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Wicked New England. It's been a little bit since we've been filming last, so good to get back here on the saddle and start making some more videos for you. Not that you'll notice though, you'll still get another one every week, so by the time you realize it'll already be out. But so this episode we like to call John and Anthony's Trip to the Zoo. So as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts,
John.
Anthony.
and these are the two schmucks that went to the zoo. They didn't really go to the zoo.
Well,
Okay, well, he actually did. No, they both went on vacation. They left me behind back here in Massachusetts, and they all went elsewhere. Anthony did stay in state, but he, bailed on me. They all bailed on me. I was all alone.
It was on purpose.
I'm all alone.
We planned a trip
felt a
out
little like
months
Donkey.
in advance. He knew about it, and he's still going to cry about it online. Nice.
They could have taken me with them. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. They could have taken me with them. All right? Anyways, so if you guys actually want to talk about what you did, I mean, I don't know. You want rock, paper, scissors? You want to Rochambeau? Like, how you guys want to decide who goes first?
You know what? I'll go first on this one.
All right, take us through it.
Me and John literally almost... Listen, guys, we all work together. Me and John literally, shared back-to-back trip vacation times. I went out to Springfield, Massachusetts. I've been going there for about 4 years now. And I like going out there mainly for the East Coast Gem and Mineral Show. They hold it every year in August. Yeah, it is August.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Is it October?
Don't you dare do that to me. It's been a interesting week. Still trying to recover from the work week, getting back to work and getting back to the grind. That sucks so badly.
See, I didn't leave it, so it's just I feel right at home.
But anyway, guys, East Coast Gem and Mineral Show. It's usually held at Eastern Estates, otherwise known as the Big E in Springfield, Massachusetts. The Gem and Mineral Show has everything from rocks, crystals, as you can kindly see here, as well as fossils.
My gift. You can't have it. That's mine.
Yeah, I did come back with some souvenirs for these guys. I can't be too greedy, can I? But
Penance
yeah,
for leaving me behind. He brought me something nice.
but it's a nice weekend. You guys should be seeing some videos of, or at least one big video of what it's like at the Eastern Estates. I did do at least one table, so to speak, of different items that you can find, as well as items like this. I also did the property, fortunate enough, I should say, to do the property of the Big E itself. There is a lot to see. Everything's built up, set up like a small town. I got the privilege to speaking with some very interesting people that work there. One of the ladies that was doing security at the time, she told me about a lot of the stuff that they do. They have venues that they have performing arts there. I believe Ludacris is actually coming up. I'm not sure exactly when, though. They also have a circus that comes to town and performs at the Big E. They also have the Big E event, which I believe is 15 days in the month of September. So we're probably going to be missing that, unfortunately.
Anthony, why don't you actually whip out that box over there and point it to the camera? We can kind of show them. I think it'll show up. I think we tilt it just right.
Oh, I think it'll show up.
Put the UV light on it. This
Well, I
is
can also
really cool,
take-
folks. This is one of the things he was showing
This
me.
is one of the things that I show the guys that I picked up. Excuse any sounds. If you want to read what stones are what. Now, there are different stones, and what does it start with? Does it start
So it
with red?
starts with my favorite, the red, which is
And I'm hoping the camera can pick this up.
Yeah, somewhat slightly.
somewhat.
Looks like.
Let's see. Yeah. Well, anyway, folks, it's kind of hard to catch, I guess, on the camera lens because of the UV light. But when you shine on that, it actually turns red. But that's ruby kyanite from India. Then, is that the blue one, Anthony?
This is the blue one.
So the blue one is fluorite from Mexico. Then we have an orange stone, which is sodalite from Canada, which it's orange and black spots. And then the yellow, which is
This one I think
Wernerite
actually
from
picks
Canada.
up very, very well in the light.
yeah. The yellow shows up. a
And
lot
something
better.
tells me the green's not going to show up as well. But this one
Oh, that one
is...
shows up a little bit, yeah.
Willemite from the United States. So that one showed up really good. The green actually showed up the best. So all of those are actually fluorescent. Like I said, sorry about the camera. I wasn't sure if it was going to show up with the UV or not. Sometimes those light waves don't come through the same way. Same problem we have sometimes when we're shooting night vision when we're going on some of the ghost hunts. But no, really cool thing though. But yeah, continue.
So I mean, there's a lot of interesting things to look at. A lot of interesting people to see. I got the privilege of talking to a lot of people, like I said, guys. They hold a lot of events. I would definitely look in. I'd actually want to try the Big E at some point in time, maybe next year, after the Gem and Mineral Show. Maybe we can make it a group effort, because something else that the security lady said, that they serve beer. A lot of beer. So
I did see the sign for the beer garden in your video, which, folks, you'll see that too. I'm going to be editing that for Anthony, and we'll put it in the Quick Trips folder on the YouTube channel. So if you want to check out what the Big E looks like, you'll see the footage he shot from that and the Rock and Gem Show. We'll do a
and
video.
just to clarify, you're going to hear me say in the video at some points in times, there's certain areas that I did not go into. I mainly stayed on the long loop around, kind of like the premises of the built property itself. I didn't actually go exploring anywhere else because I gave my word saying where I was going to go. I did kind of jump through a little bit of hoops trying to get that done, but that's a story for a different time. Anyway, John, I heard you had a very fun experience.
1 second. There's also something else we got to talk about too. So I actually kind of sent Anthony on like a small errand because I knew he'd be heading out west. So a sort of a recon mission, if you will, which there'll be a video about as well. But why don't you tell him about that place, Anthony?
Well, you're going to tell him most of the story about the property and everything else. Andrew had sent me on a mission to do a little bit of recon for a possible investigation over in Belchertown, Massachusetts. This is the site of Belchertown State School.
State school. Yeah.
I always want to say hospital for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. But it was quite interesting. A lot of the property has been renovated heavily. I believe the property is still up for grabs as far as possibly housing and other things. There are still buildings on the property, so you're going to be seeing some of my walkthrough with that. And Andrew's just like torturing me right now because he knows I can't stand the sound of my own voice.
So we actually looking at that as a potential site to investigate. So I had read some articles online. Everything from suicides and lots of deaths at that school. And on the property as well. There's tunnels that run underneath it. Really creepy place. Actually, you guys can check up on like Google or something like that. But there's not really a lot of videos on it, which is another reason why I would like to film it. Just because not a lot of people have actually done it yet, which is kind of cool for us. But the property itself is pretty much public domain, so we can get on the property so much without being trespassing per se. It might get a little fuzzy getting in.
Into some of the buildings,
that could be gray area,
a little bit of a gray area.
You know, as long as we can get away with it.
I'm pretty sure
pretty much down for the cause.
I'm pretty sure the police department will not appreciate you walking into the buildings themselves. Which does make it a little bit more of a gray area because this is quite literally in the backyard of the Belchertown Police Department.
And a Dunkin' Donuts.
And a Dunkin' Donuts.
That's right.
A Dunkin' Donuts is literally right across the street. I took liberties of stopping there on the way because after a two-hour ride, basically, you kind of have to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, got a coffee, and virtually went straight through the intersection as I left the parking lot to go to Belchertown. So yeah, basically that was basically my route. Andrew sent me on the mission because Belchertown is actually within the area of Springfield, Massachusetts. From Belchertown, it actually only took me maybe 35 minutes to get back to Springfield.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a fun experience. It felt a little strange walking around, doing a little bit of exploring by myself, especially with a camera and trying to explain what I'm doing. I apologize for any of the footage that comes out poorly. I'm still getting used to it all, you know, especially doing it by yourself. It's one thing if the camera's pointing it at you and somebody else is dealing with the technical stuff. It's a different aspect when you're trying to do multiple things at once. Controlling the camera, making sure you've got a decent angle on things, and trying to actually focus on talking about what the hell you're doing there. So, I mean, it's a different experience. So I do envy these guys for having a little bit more of ability to control that aspect. And I give a lot of credit to Andrew. He's been great at doing all this editing for me.
You're going to make me blush. No, people. Actually, if you could do me a favor, though, and just drop in the comments. I keep telling this guy there's nothing wrong with his voice. He hates the sound of his voice. Maybe
you can
just let him
tell
know
I
in
have
the
a
comments.
strong South Boston accent, okay?
Let him know there's nothing wrong with his voice in the comments. We'd appreciate that.
But if Sam Adams wants to give me a job, by all means, I got no problem getting a check.
That would be wicked awesome.
You can
For
meet me in the
Wicked New England.
comments making fun of his voice, too.
Thanks,
This is
Don.
why he's got, a self-conscious issue. All right, John. So why don't you tell us about your trip to the zoo and then other locales where you were visiting?
So, my girlfriend and I, we decided to take a trip to Denver, Colorado. So, if Anthony went west, we had Manifest Destiny. Okay. So, first day, we were up at 2 a.m. Didn't get to Denver until 10 a.m. First thing we did was had a bite to eat. So, I had bison tacos.
Nice.
That was awesome. Then, a few of the days, we actually checked out their 16th Mall Street. And so, the entire street, a lot of it is under construction right now, but it's still open. It's a mall street. They were not very creative in naming it, but it's awesome. Okay, lots of food, lots of stores, and honestly, it was a really cool experience to see some of the older buildings. Like they have a nice clock tower that was really cool to get some pictures of. A lot of the pictures I'm going to be sending your way, so that way.
I'll be dropping some in this podcast too, and I'm probably going to do a slide shot video, kind of like we did one of our other quick trips. So I'll have that to the quick trip folder as well, so you guys will be getting some more videos off of that.
Yeah, so day 2, we ended up going on a group tour. So we went to Red Rock Amphitheater. Very cool to see. I mean, really awe-inspiring to see that natural amphitheater that was then renovated into what it is today. Fun fact about that, in the height of Beatlemania, 1964, a few months after the Ed Sullivan Show, where the Beatles were appeared, they performed there. Very cool. So
Just
again,
to pause you for a second, too, folks, if you're noticing something different with John, we didn't suddenly adopt a new child as our co-host. He decided to shave his beard.
I did.
Which is going to be kind of weird for us because we're actually going to be promoting Live Bearded products here on the channel, which as episodes go on in the future, we'll start getting into that a little
It's
bit.
okay. He's got a 5 o'clock shadow. It's coming in quite nicely.
Luckily,
It'll grow in
it grows
pretty
fast.
quick.
This solidifies me as the dad of the group, even though Anthony's the oldest.
So the
John's
grandpa.
Wait a
Okay,
minute.
okay.
Wait a
yeah,
minute.
yeah. I'm the
How's he-
dad, grandpa, dad, child.
That's what. All right. I'm the
Interesting,
grandpa because I got the grays.
I don't know how how
Okay.
I feel about this dynamic,
Yeah.
but
My surrogate son. He's also the shortest, as you can see. No, that's only because the chair he's sitting in. He chose a
Yeah.
stool.
We're trying to get a little bit more comfortable. Andrew gets the luxury of having his chair.
See, I have this nice secret
but
lab.
we've got to try different things.
Batman
So,
we're
gaming
not
chair.
endorsed, but we would love to be.
If everybody, yes.
and being the old man
If we could
grandpa,
get two
I
more
guess
secret
that's
lab
why I
chairs,
get the rocker,
that'd be
ladies
amazing.
and gentlemen.
It would be dope. But then
Please
we went
continue.
from Red Rocks to Echo Lake, had a beautiful hike. Then from there we went to
What's
Evergreen.
Echo Lake? Sorry, not
Echo
to
Lake.
keep sidetracking you, but
So it's a lake
I
in the
actually
mountains.
don't know what that is yet.
It's very nice, very beautiful. We actually stumbled on some people fishing. This guy with his 2 grandchildren, they were just fishing. Very cool.
Hmm.
The animals are not afraid of people up there. They just kind of wander up to you, check you out, say, "All right, see ya." There was a duck, quite literally right in front of me. Like I could have petted it if I wanted to. I didn't because I'm not trying to get bit by a duck.
If it was a
But-
goose, it would have fucked him up. But
But
duck's a little more friendly.
a little bit, just a little bit. So yeah. Then when we went to Evergreen, that was a Wild West town, so they still have some of the that vibe to it, some of the older building structures. Fun fact about that: the bar in that town
Mhm.
was where Willie Nelson used to just go and perform because his house was right near there. I
Nice.
think 20 minutes away. I have a picture of that too. his house and the bar. Me outside the bar. It's pretty cool.
Never smoke weed with Willie again.
Huh? No. We also went to the Denver Zoo. Honestly, so I don't know if you guys have the same feeling, but when I was a kid and I would go to the zoo, I would just be in awe because it was like, oh my goodness.
Well, I still am. I love
know?
animals. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's so cool.
But
Especially
now-
the big cats. Like that's kind of my favorite thing. Actually, where I used to live in Florida, there's one that's actually specific for them called Big Cat Habitat in Sarasota,
That's
which
cool.
it's just like panthers, tigers, lions. It's very cool. Yeah.
See, nowadays, especially the smaller zoos, I feel kind of bad for the animals because they don't seem to have a lot of space in some zoos, But this zoo, what's really interesting is they have a lot of little blurbs that you can read that say how they specifically take care of the animals and kind of cater to their specific needs. So, for example, the lions, they make sure that they only feed them carcasses. So that way they get less depressed, I think, is what one of the workers had said.
They'd probably feel more wild if they're still kind of
Right.
maiming
Yes.
some kind of prey as opposed to going up to a big cat bowl.
No, I can actually,
Exactly.
I can really respect that. I mean, I do hesitate in going to some zoos, especially after you go there, you pay some money to get in, then you see what the animals are going through, and it's like the money you just paid is what's supporting that zoo. I do feel bad for the zoos because I don't believe all the workers are looking to have anything happen to any of the animals. I believe they love the animals. They go there every
Of
day and
course.
they work with them. But at the same time, when these institutions like zoos and even libraries, they're looking for the public funding aspect itself. They're looking for donations. A lot of museums do the same thing. So when you see, like, if you walk into the building or if you see problems in the zoo and you question that, look at how much you're paying to get in, it's might be a cheap price, but this is what they can afford. So by all means, I support, like, please donate to zoos, museums, make these donations. They are going to a good cause because these are also educational facilities as well.
Yeah, I will say, the Denver Zoo, it was well worth the price. It was actually
Would you say it's your favorite zoo now that you've gone to that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
definitely, it was awesome.
So
You could spend it even a couple of days.
while
with
we're
it.
on that, what's your favorite zoo that you've ever been to? Doesn't matter where.
Okay, I haven't been to too many. Being localized, I think I've always gone to the New Bedford Zoo over in Buttonwood Park. But I think I've gone to, I
Roger
believe the
Williams.
Roger Williams Zoo is probably the most popular one in the New England
in
area.
this area,
Or at least in this area.
Well, Southwick's
Definitely.
is pretty popular. So I don't know if you've ever.
I don't
been to
know
that
if
one,
I've
but
been there.
that's
If I
in,
have been
that's in
there, I was
Mendon,
probably
Mass.
when I was a lot younger. I honestly don't remember. But yeah, I think Roger Williams Zoo would probably top the list right at that point.
So I'd say my favorite zoo. I was on vacation in Tennessee. I went to the zoo in Memphis, and they have pandas, which is another reason why
That's
I
cool,
liked
yeah.
it, because there's only so many zoos that have a panda.
Yes.
But no, the Memphis Zoo is really amazing. Like the way it's set up, that
See,
was
that's
really cool. And honestly, the Lowry Park Zoo in Tampa is really big too. It's really nice. I've been fortunate to go to some nice zoos. But yeah, why don't you can continue before I
So-
get sidetracked some more? So
We also went to the State Botanic Gardens in Denver. That was very cool to walk around, very peaceful. They have labels for every plant that they have there. Super cool. They also have this koi pond in the middle of the gardens
nice.
where you can just sit down, read or just watch the koi fish. That's what I did. It was honestly a really great experience to be able to see that. Again, tons of pictures. Just expect that.
It's coming,
Yeah.
just like
I'm
winter.
looking forward to seeing some of
Winter
these.
is coming.
I'm looking forward to seeing some of these myself.
Mhm.
Out of curiosity, when you say Botanic Gardens, though, was there at least one area where they had fenced off with a sign saying, warning, any trespassing in there and touching these plants may possibly cost you your life?
No.
Because I do know of a botanic garden. I can't remember the name of it, but I do know of a botanical garden where they have the main garden that you can walk around, but there's one kind of closed off area, and this sign is on the gate indicating that everything beyond this point is poisonous and could very well kill you.
So they had two closed off areas. One of them was more under construction, was their tropical habitat.
Yep.
that was pretty cool just to kind of see what they were doing from the outside, just because it was this big building, this big domed building that no one was allowed in. It was pretty interesting. And then they also had this other facility where they were starting to grow new plants that you could see inside, but you can't go inside. That was only for the volunteers and people working there. Very cool to see from the outside on kind of how they set up their, I'm going to call it a farm, because it was kind of preparing to be added to the garden. Very cool. They had different sections for different types. So there was an indoor portion that had mist going at almost all, the entire time. And that was more of the jungle type plants. They had an area that was all themed around Japanese plants, and they called it like the tea area, or the tea garden.
So they were kind of set up in like general location,
Exactly.
all the plants of this area or all the plants of this area. That's very nice.
Very cool. They actually had this one building that used to be a house, that now they use it as the administration office. But outside of that, they had some really beautiful plants. They had this one really tall orange plant that I had to get a picture with. Very cool. That was honestly... So one of the recommendations I have, if you guys ever go to Denver, is get the City Pass. So we did the three event City Pass. So we got into the botanical gardens. Other things that are included are the Air and Space Museum, Natural History Museum, the aquarium. You get to choose.
So you chose the zoo, the gardens, and what else did you choose?
So we went to the aquarium.
Okay.
I will say, so what was cool is that they had tigers at both the aquarium and the zoo.
That's interesting.
Very weird, but it was pretty...
That's a different vibe, but okay. I'm digging it.
They did have a couple of bigger aquarium pieces that you could walk into, and the fish would actually swim right above you. It was like a domed hallway that the fish would swim above you. So that was very cool to see. Overall, I would say that the zoo is top priority if you have to choose between the aquarium and the zoo. Nothing against the aquarium, but the zoo was just humongous. It was awesome, Yeah, the trip overall was very fun, very relaxing. I loved the mountain time because I got an extra 2 hours of sleep,
Yeah, but you were waking up 2 hours later too, so...
Well, so what was pretty cool is we would wake up at 6 a.m.
Mountain time or East Coast time?
Mountain time.
Okay.
We'd wake up, wow, we're so refreshed, look at the time, it's 6 a.m. And then the realization would hit us of, in our time it's 8 a.m. We're not sleeping in. We're not really waking up early, we're sleeping in. But yeah, overall it was just a fantastic time, really. I think a couple of my favorite pieces was Red Rock Amphitheater. That was very cool to see. They even have a hallway where you can see who performed from, I want to say, 1903 to present day.
Wow.
Cool.
Very cool. And especially looking throughout the years, you're going to find some of the biggest bands that you know of. So that was awesome. Just the view of Denver from there was really cool because it's off in the distance, and if you didn't know that that's what you were looking at, you might just pass over it, that view of Denver, because it's so far away. Very cool to see. And yeah, the zoo was just so much fun. Those are probably my top two highlights. One thing I will say, so when we got there, we didn't really notice the thinner air, even though really it's a lot thinner than where it is here.
It's a mile high.
So it was pretty cool though. We were walking around, we're getting tired much earlier than usual. So then when we went on the tour into the mountains, that's where you feel it. It's not to the point where you're, but you definitely feel that thinner air. And, oh, damn. Because by the time we got to Echo Lake, we were already way above Denver. So if in Denver we were feeling it just walking around, that's where, we noticed that thinner air.
But you're going to notice it a lot more, especially when you're starting to do a lot more walking around, a lot more movement. when you're more active like that,
yeah.
you're going to start breathing differently. And when you start breathing differently, that's when you're going to realize how thin the air really is. So that was very interesting. I am so looking forward to seeing those photos.
I think my favorite pictures that I took are all the mountain views. Looking just out from the top of a mountain and just seeing the earth. It was beautiful, honestly.
And yet you guys wonder why I want to move to the mountains.
I don't wonder.
I don't wonder at all.
Anyway.
I just think all of us choose different mountains is what it is.
Yeah, very true.
I prefer Tennessee. You like North Carolina. This guy's probably going to go all the way out west to the Sierras.
I'm stuck between Tennessee and now Colorado. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, he's in Tennessee. I'm thinking North Carolina. They're bordered states. I mean,
yeah, they're close enough. We
can
can still get together to film. That's the main thing.
The name though.
I think we just need to build a commune. And buy
I would say we
build 3 houses on the land.
I would say Wicked United States at that point.
That's the way to do it.
Wicked United States. We'd have our own flag.
Hell yeah!
Put it out over our ranch. Good to go.
We're going to be wrapping this one up out of curiosity because I got one more thing I wanted to mention before.
I don't know. Do you want to go home? What? Jeez, this guy's trying to get out the door.
We're wrapping. No. We're going to be trying to do a lot more podcasts after this one, which is why you're going to see us in the same clothes. No, I just wanted to mention, if you guys are following the Wicked New England channel on Facebook, I did post 2 videos that I took on my phone, which is why I could get it onto Facebook. If you're curious to see some of the aspects of what the Gem and Mineral Show is, one of those videos is the rocks that I tried to show earlier here. And another video is, well, let's just say if you don't like bugs, you might not want to see it. Hence the reason why this guy was the first one to get it in a text from me. But it's all good. Anyway.
Spiders are my favorite things. He knows this. No, not really, folks. I hate fucking spiders. If there's a spider in the house, we're going to burn down the house. We're going to piss on the ashes. That's just how it's going to go.
That's the right way to do it.
That's the smartest.
I can't blame him.
All right, folks. So on that's going to conclude this episode of Wicked New England. We're going to catch you next week on another podcast. And until then, we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Take it easy.